What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Linares.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. Welcome back, everybody. Big game here tomorrow. So we're recording this on Sunday. Obviously, it'll be the day you guys are listening. UConn versus San Diego State. What is your pick?
I'm going UConn. UConn looked dominant last game, and I think they played a better team than San Diego State did. I mean, FAU, obviously a Cinderella story, a very good team, but maybe not even a Cinderella story. They were just underseeded, but obviously a 9 seed making it to the Final Four isn't, a 4 seed like Miami, so or 5 seed, whatever they were. So yeah, I got UConn here. They've been looking really good all tournament, and I just feel like they're
Yeah.
like a more classic basketball program. Like I just can't see San Diego State winning a championship, but hey, I'd love to see it at the same time. It'd be cool.
Yeah, UConn's just like a buzzsaw right now. Like, doesn't seem like there's going to be any stopping them. So that's my pick as well.
I was really pulling for FAU. They had a pretty good game. It was a really good game, but they played pretty well. Is what I'm saying, I guess.
Mhm.
Obviously, the buzzer beater, heartbreaking, but it was a great shot. That guy got to his spot, got a just beautiful shot.
Yeah,
it was great to see.
looks like me back in the day at the park.
Oh yeah, the school bell sending kids home.
Yeah.
You were a demon. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. So we'll be back next week with our reaction to what actually happened. But yeah, we're rocking with UConn for sure. I got two amendments I got to make on last week's episode. I feel like I'm turning to LeBron with the lies. We made an episode all
Yeah.
about him. I think we're going to have to rank my lies. Mine are just misremembering things, though. One, I never actually said what it was, but I remembered a gum commercial. I said I thought Juicy Fruit, but it wasn't 100% on that. But it was a Juicy Fruit commercial with Forever by Chris Brown. It was a double mint commercial, which makes more sense because double your pleasure, double your fun, double mint makes sense more than Juicy Fruit, which like isn't double of anything.
Yeah.
So that would have been kind of out of pocket. And the other one was I said that Leavin' by Justin McCartney I had on a Tooth Tunes toothbrush. It was actually Beautiful Soul. So I got to set the record straight.
Yeah, you got to quit with the cat, bro. It's getting out of control.
I know I'm really doing the most out here.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're fixing your mistakes. So at least that's all we can ask. So
I know I have to. Let's get into our songs of the week here. If you're new, we give 3 shout outs to songs we had encounters with this week, whether it's our listening, we heard it played somewhere, some story to go along with it. Kick us off here with your first song of the week.
so my first song of the week, I went with "Weston Road Flows" by Drake. I think we'll be hearing from this artist again, but I just have to make the point of that this is a top five Drake song. Argue with the wall.
Yeah, I will definitely argue with that one all day. I brought it up to you because we were talking about Marvin's Room last week because that was one of your songs. Been on a big Drake kick, I see. But I was wondering where it got eliminated on our Drake bracket we did a couple months back. It actually lost in the first round, which Marvin's Room losing in the first round is like crazy to think about. But it lost to Western Road Flows, which is a good song and one of your favorites. So I understand why it lost. But I was team Marvin's Room there for sure. So
Yeah.
that was tough to see. My first track of the week is Sweetest Girl by Wyclef Jean, Akon, and Lil Wayne. This is a track I had not heard in years. I had not thought about in years. And then one day, just early this week, one of the lines got stuck in my head. I was just thinking about it. She used to be the sweetest girl. And I had to listen to it. And I listened to it like 3 times in a row. It was such a good song, a song I just forgot about, but it's a classic.
Yeah, definitely a classic there. I had to give it a listen as well when you had sent it. I'd been like forever since I'd heard the song. So
Hmm.
for my number two track here, we have another Drake track. We have No Lie with Drake and 2 Chainz. I mean, just a classic song. This is like one of the first songs I ever remember listening to. I
That's
I was in
crazy.
fourth, not ever, like one of the new like rap songs, that I
Uh,
consistently listen to, stuff like it. Fourth grade, I think. Um, Fourth grade, I was banging this shit. Just I mean, just go
you're
read
a
the lyrics,
menace.
and that was I was really him in fourth grade. That was
Yeah,
me.
you
I was
really
living
were.
that life. I
Oh
was living
yeah.
no lie. So
That's fire. I don't remember what grade I was in when that came out, but gotta be like eighth or ninth. I think it was the summer between eighth and ninth grade, actually. So that's another just crazy. I love the age differences. My next song is Hang With Me by Spenzo. This is a track, another one, it just popped into my head. I haven't thought about Spenzo in years, but there was a minute where I think people thought Spenzo was like him, the next drill god out of Chicago. He was really running it for a couple minutes. He had Hang With Me and he had Wifer, and those songs were just huge. And I was thinking back, it's kind of another perfect example of like Hoopsting being randomly like early. Although Spenzo
Yeah.
never really like blew up, Hoopsting was like big on Spenzo. Like I definitely wasn't the one who discovered Spenzo. Like people were just listening to him. He was bubbling in Hoopsting, and I heard his tracks. We were talking about his tracks, and I was like, all right, yeah, this is kind of fire. So I thought about that track, had to give it a shout out. I don't know if it's a song that anybody is gonna know. Like you didn't know
Uh,
it. I don't know if people listen to this. I'm sure like people that were like at Hoopston High School at the same time as I was would probably remember it. But other than that, man, I have no idea. So if you're listening and you remember Spenzo, drop a comment, hit us up because I gotta know if he's just like an anomaly for Hoopston or what.
yeah, I mean, it's just another one of the artists we put on to the world. So,
Yeah,
um, moving on to my third track, I was riding around in my car. I was thinking, what's my third song gonna be? I kind of let it choose me. And Know Yourself came on. I was like, okay, the Drake trifecta is complete. The first clean sweep we've had during this
big.
little series here. So, um, congrats to Drake. Just
Yeah, shout out
another
to Drizzy.
accomplishment.
Yeah, I like that track. Obviously, I like that you used it this week because I posted my Be Real the other day when I was on a run and I commented running through the six to you because you commented on I replied running through the
Yeah.
six. So I thought that that was just it's a good tie in there as well.
Yeah.
My final song, I am gonna stick with the Drake theme here. I'll give him some love. I'll give him one. I got Sticky. I was out last night in Lafayette with the boys at Purdue, and Sticky came on. I would say the music was like pretty all night, but
Mhm.
Sticky came on pretty late in the night and it hit. I hadn't heard Sticky in a couple weeks and I've never really heard it out before. Like it's definitely a good song.
Yeah.
Like Honestly Never Mind is probably a pretty good project in general to play at a bar or club or whatever. But that was really the first time I had heard Sticky. I haven't been out too many bars since it dropped. So it was really hitting. It was one of my favorites when it dropped, and that was just like another reason why it was just great.
Yeah. I feel like that one could have be really good for like an environment, like a club,
Hmm.
Yeah, it's club music. Honestly, never mind is. So
Oh yeah,
I'll request that next time I'm at a bar.
yes sir. To on the touch tunes. All right, let's get in today's topic. It's not March anymore, so we're finally off the brackets. I guess before we get into it, we got to give a special shout out to Heartless by Kanye West, which won the 2008 bracket, voted by you guys on our Instagram. Love Story. We thought that that one was going to have a big run.
Oh,
Got upset. I don't know if it's an upset, but lost to
it's an
Bleeding
upset.
Love. Yeah, probably an
Y-
upset. Leona Lewis made it to the championship though, so shout to her.
Yeah, I was listening to that one though, and I was like, okay, yeah. I mean,
It's a
it, it
great
could
song.
it could make a good run, but it's not better than Love Story.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're just so different. They're like polar opposites
Yeah,
almost. And I love them both for different reasons, but I'm glad Heartless got a win. It's a great song. It deserved it. There was a lot
yeah,
of songs on the bracket that could have deserved it though. So I think if there's probably like six options that if they would have won, I would have been happy. Like Viva La Vida, Chasing Pavements, Love Story, Bleeding Love, any of those won, I'm cool. So they
yeah. I mean,
people picked a good
whoever,
song.
yeah, whoever picked those songs, they did a great job.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, officially off of brackets for the pod for a minute at least. We got one in the works in the future, the J. Cole bracket with my boy AJ. That'll be big. That's coming up sometime soon. But this week, we're doing our top five rap duos, modern rap duos. Obviously, there's a lot of classic rap duos we got to give some love to, but that's not this episode. This episode is going to be more focused on like 2000s and after, a little bit of wiggle room there. So there's no like Eric B and Rakim, Gangstar,
Yeah,
Black Star, 8 Ball and MJG, UGK, Mob D, people like that probably deserve their own episode. And maybe we'll have to make that happen. But today, well, let's get into these modern rap duos. Some of these are like official duos that have a name as a group or have released a project, and some are just very frequent collaborators that have enough out there to be considered for this. Excited to see what you picked here. I think this is going to be kind of different. I think we're going to kind of go different directions here. So let's see. Let's get into the first one here with yours.
okay, so for my first one here, this is kind of like my only one that you could consider a newer. I'd say like 2015 or after. They collaborated a little bit before that. But I have Travis Scott and Young Thug here.
Ooh.
I didn't know who I wanted to pick for Travis Scott. I wanted to have a collaborator with him. Thought about Quavo, but I just feel like Jack Huncho, you know, it didn't go the way it should have. And I feel like a Travis Scott and Young Thug collab would do crazy numbers or would
Hmm.
have. Unfortunately, doesn't look like that's likely though. Um, I don't know. I feel like every time they're together, they really don't miss. So I feel like that's a key element in this list here. They don't have maybe the volume that the others do, but
Yep. That was exactly my comment. I don't think they have the volume, and I only have one non like album duo on my list, and it was for the volume reason. The duo I picked obviously did have enough volume, but I wanted to pick like Drake and The Weeknd. I was debating that OVO
yeah.
XO. I mean, but they don't have enough out there. I was debating The Weeknd and Travis. Also, don't have enough out
Mhm.
there in my opinion. But Young Thug and Travis, they definitely have a good amount of songs, and every song has been a hit. So I definitely like that pick a lot. Like you said, Huncho Jack kind of flopped. Otherwise, that could have been it. If they would have put out a project of 10 Oh My Diss sides,
Yeah.
we might be having a different discussion, but we're not. And I think that Young Thug collab album, if it ever would happen with him and Travis, unlikely, like you said, but I think it'd definitely be special because Young Thug, he's always kind of pushing boundaries, doing things a little bit different. I think Travis is in a different way than Young Thug, so I think they complement each other nicely in a project.
Definitely. That was one I definitely wanted to get the nod to. I kind of wanted to do someone a little bit newer, quote unquote, compared to the other four that I have here. So
Mm-hmm. For sure. I like that pick though. I'll get to my first one here. Like I said, I only have one duo that is not like an official duo that's put out a project together or has a name. And for that reason, they're going to have to be my five spot just because they're like an unofficial duo. And it's Drake and Lil Wayne. I'm sure you're going to have them here, probably higher, pretty high, I
yeah,
would imagine. But like I said, they just don't have projects. So for that reason, I would put them a little bit lower. I think you're definitely going to be a little bit questioning of my next pick, putting them above Drake and Lil Wayne. We'll get into that. But yeah, I would say they're essential duo to my music listening growing up. I
uh,
was listening to them like crazy. They're two of my most listened to artists of all time, I would imagine. And they have so many classic songs, but they just don't have that album. They have hits, they got deeper cuts, they got the BB King freestyles, they got the She Wills, they got the Motto, HYF, they
yeah.
got so many tracks. We did a whole episode about them. We don't need to talk about them anymore until we get to yours, I guess, because I'm sure they're going to be there. But yeah, they had to have a spot here, especially talking about these modern rap duos. But I just don't think they can go any higher here.
It's disrespectful. That's my only comment.
Yeah, we'll
Moving
see
on
where you
here.
got them.
I have Dr. Dre and Eminem. This is like I feel like they were due for a spot here. Because like I remember forgot about Dre. Like I was like maybe 10 years old. My mom had played that. She's playing in the car on like a burnt CD, and that's kind of like what got me into Dr. Dre, Tupac. I kind of started venturing off into them afterwards. And then obviously Eminem was just always around and everything. But forgot about Dre. That's just one of my favorite tracks ever, just because of that moment there, moments like that. So
Hmm. That's a fire duo. It's a duo that I probably personally don't respect enough. I need to go deeper in Dr. Dre's
uh,
catalog, especially with him being my birthday twin and all, but I just haven't done it enough. Like I've given a lot of these projects like listens, but never like thorough listens and revisits and all that. Maybe it's due. Maybe you're giving me the push for that. Like obviously you got the Chronic hanging up there. Gave it a listen definitely once through, but that's like probably about it. So I should definitely do that. 2001, all those projects.
uh,
So I think yours
yeah,
finally.
and then another just a little last touch for the Dr. Dre and Eminem duo here. I need a doctor. That video is a hit when I was a kid. I used to watch the whole thing with the car crash in the front. The Vivo videos, those were goaded.
Oh yeah, that's fire. I haven't thought about that song in a long time. My next duo here. This is the one I think you're gonna have an issue with, but this is my list in the day,
Okay.
so they're gonna have a
Yeah.
place here.
It's all subjective.
It is. I got the Ho Scares. I got Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia
Over Drake and Lil Wayne.
over Drake and Lil Wayne for the sole reason that they have a project. If Drake and Lil Wayne had a project, I was kind of thinking maybe it's a little contradictory because Drake and Lil Wayne have albums worth of songs. So I could see
Yeah,
the reason for putting him
I
above.
think
But I think that having an album is almost more of like a stamp. Like I feel like people look at like Black Star Project with Talib Kweli and Mos Def, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was like influential. That was a moment." And I kind of feel like for that like high level underground experimental rap of the 2020s and like 2010s, it's Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia. So like this is like a moment, and it's a great project. And they have one other song together, so they haven't had like a crazy amount of songs, but I feel like they're very, very high quality. And so for that reason, I have them here.
I feel like this ranking would have worked maybe a little bit better if they had more songs than Drake and Lil Wayne, but they don't even have a quarter, maybe even a quarter of the songs together. It's like half. I'd say half
It's probably a
confidently.
third.
Yeah, a third or a half. I can't respect the pick. I like that they made the list, but over Drake and Lil Wayne, that's even more disrespectful.
It's the
But
quality. It's the
yeah,
quality for me. That's my
yeah,
line.
Drake and Wayne suck together.
No, that's true. I guess my thing is like there's so many tracks with like Drake, Wayne, and others, but like
Yeah,
the
that's
Drake, Wayne, and like just those two, there's not as many. So that's kind of like another reason why it's a little bit lower, like lower than them. Because if you kind of shrink that down to just Drake and Lil Wayne, it kind of gets it closer to quantity of Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia. But yeah, I knew it's crazy. It's definitely recency bias. If you ask me in 6 months, might not even be in the top five, but right now I'm loving this project. I see the long term influence and the moment that it is it had to have a spot here. Maybe not top four, but I I'm fine with where I put it.
all right. Moving on here for my third pick. I have Kanye West and Jay Z. I didn't know which collaborator I wanted to choose for Kanye. I was thinking about Pusha T, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it's between Jay Z and Pusha T for me. I mean, there's no other collaborator there that is deserving of a spot on this list. Obviously, Watch the Throne is just a classic project, and they've done a lot together since then. Donda, I love Jail. That's just I love Jail. I don't know why. That's like one of my just favorite songs off Donda. I know some other people rock with some other tracks a little bit more, but even into the 2020s, Jay Z and Kanye are still doing it. So
No, that's a great spot for them. They're gonna be coming up on my list, of course. I feel like Watch the Throne is one of the most celebrated collab albums, especially in recent years, in the past 15 years. So I think it obviously deserves a spot here. I'll get to my next one though. I got Run the Jewels here. This is another one, they're little bit less popular than Drake and Lil Wayne and stuff, obviously, and probably less popular than most on this list, but they also do have the quantity. They got four Run the Jewels
mm,
projects. They've been running it since like 2010, and I probably haven't been listening to them since 2016 or whatever. Like that was probably when I got on them. But Run the Jewels, fire. They're heavy in my workout playlist. I feel like I'm always going to Run the Jewels. LP, killer production, great rapper, and Killer Mike. He's always going to come through with his thing as well. So they're just a great duo. I don't know how into them you are, but
yeah, I mean, this is like one I can respect. A little bit. If you have them over Drake and Lil Wayne, okay, that's personal preference there. They have four projects together. Lots of songs, so I'll respect that one a little bit more.
okay, yeah, that's my thing. That was the only reason I actually did have. I'll say this: I did have Drake and Lil Wayne above JPEG Mafia and Danny, and then I switched it just for the reason that they don't have an album, and that seems kind of contradictory because they have so many songs. But I'm living with it. Whatever. Run the Jewels, stick on them. That they got quantity of songs, they got the quality. I feel like they're one of the most like respected people. Obviously, you got that Kendrick line, one of my all-time favorite Kendrick lines. Uh, you missed when hip hop was rapping. If you did, then Killer Mike will be platinum. I mean, valid. They're just underrated, but the people that respect them got a lot of respect for them.
Definitely. Moving on to my second pick here. This is just going to be your number one. I'll spoil it for everybody. I have Outcast. Pretty easily your number one there.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, just such an I like nothing really needs to be said about this pick here. I debated of having him one, but I didn't want our picks to match up there. So
Okay, we'll get into them
But
when I get.
yeah, I mean, just classics though. ATL Aliens, Aquemini, Stankonia. Just I literally
Mhm,
anything they dropped together was just a classic. So
mhm. Except for maybe Idlewild, but
yeah,
we forget about that. At my number 2 here, I got The Throne, Kanye and Jay-Z. Had to have a spot here. I mean, they only dropped the one project, but it's full of hits that people are still bumping to this day, and people gonna be bumping for as long as people listen to rap. They're like rap classics, Otis, Fellas in Paris, even like No Church in the Wild, just songs that are gonna stand the test of time for sure. They've been unavoidable for over a decade, and I think they're gonna be for forever. So gotta have them here. Even when they like teased that Watch the Throne 2 was gonna come out, the internet like broke. That was a moment. It didn't even happen. But we got jail since then. So that was just a good moment to at least get them back together. So yeah, shout out to Watch the Throne.
yeah. I mean, just such a great duo, of course. For my number one, I have an even better duo here. Obviously, no collab project to date for them. Drake and Lil Wayne. They had to make it like this. I mean, this duo just I like is the reason why I love rap the way I do. I just so many tracks, so many bangers. And then like to your point, there's a lot of songs where they have a third or fourth person in there as well. But I mean, still a Drake and Wayne collab at the end of the day.
It is.
We're all but missing a collab album from them, which I mean, I don't think it's out of question, but I'd say it's not likely that we ever get one.
I agree. I don't think it would happen at this point in their careers, but if it happened in like 2011 or 2013, oh, that would have been
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
We were just talking last night about Kendrick and J. Cole, that collab album when I was with the
Oh
boys.
yeah.
And I mean, that would have been fire. That would have given them a spot here, probably. But then we were talking
Oh,
about like,
easily.
what if it still dropped at some point, like 10 years down the line when they were like retiring or retire
Uh
or
huh.
whatever? That'd be crazy. So we were talking about that, the possibility. I feel like that kind of could be the same thing as Drake and Lil Wayne. Like they could just drop it down the line, like songs from the vault one day.
Yeah, we're just really deprived of that J. Cole and Kendrick album because like they don't really have too many collabs together.
No,
Yeah, like and then that Black Friday, it was just
that was a
I still
moment.
hold yeah, we all still hold hope that we're getting that. So
Yeah, I don't even know. Like that's a project where I feel like J. Cole almost gets disrespected a lot in like all time rankings and stuff. And if he had that project with Kendrick, I feel like all those questions would just be out the window and he would be like in top 10 lists, no question.
yeah. It's really interesting with J. Cole. I don't he just has like such a great career though, is my thing. Oh, we're a little off topic here, but yeah, I mean just we can go deep dive into J. Cole whenever we do our bracket with AJ. So
Yeah, we'll have to. But yeah, I guess I just had to give that shout out as like an honorable mention is like they got like what two songs together, but Kendrick and J. Cole had a
well, yeah, I
project.
mean
You can see them.
all you need is a song and a project together to get on this list,
Yeah.
apparently.
If you have 9 songs, yeah, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm at number 1. You spoiled it. Obviously, is going to be here though. If you know me, you know Outcast. Not even a question. The best duo of all time. I think you can maybe make an argument for best group of all time. It gets a little bit new grayer. We're talking about like Wu Tang Clan and groups like a lot of people, a lot of different voices, a lot of different styles, all that kind of stuff. But Outcast, I think, belongs on any all time list. We're talking about best rappers, them individually, as a group, anything. Gotta have Outcast here. Some of my favorite projects of all time. They were kind of getting to a gray area here if we're doing like modern rap. You know, they had projects into
Yeah.
the early 2000s, so I gave them the nod here. Yeah, it had to be here. So many of my favorite songs of all time. The art of storytelling. I mean, Hey Ya, a classic. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves
Yeah.
it.
They
Although
just
that
have
is just Andre,
uh,
but they're just timeless. Like they make the best rap. Like they are in the like older rap that I think feels like it was released today still for the most part.
yeah, and I mean with that, like they're just such a great group that they have, just huge mega tracks, diamond albums. But then I mean, you listen to everything they have, and it's literally all the same quality, same sound. I mean, just phenomenal group there, of course. So
Mm-hmm. So many essentials, the goats, truly. So shout out to Outcast. There was a couple shout outs I wanted to give to like some of these newer generation rap groups, duos that I just didn't end up going with. One was Earth Gang. Earth Gang, they're just not at that level, but I want to
Yeah.
give them a little bit of love. They crossed our mind. I was like, okay, shout out to Earth Gang. Clips, Pusha T and Malice. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a fire duo from the early 2000s. They still, I mean, collabed a little bit as of late. So, maybe if we get another Clips album, they get on here, that'd be fire. And one that I feel like you wouldn't think I would even consider, but they got the hits. Lil Baby and Gunna.
Yeah, that was one I was considering as well. They would have made my honorable mention along with Clips. So I mean, there were some good groups or good duos we had to leave out, but I feel like for the most part we got the correct ones on there, or I
Yeah,
did at least.
yeah, I'll say, yeah, I'm sure you disagree with mine, but whatever. Let us know who your duos would be in the comments. I feel like this is such a list that's based on what you listen to, what you grew up on, what you listen to now. Like, that's the reason. Like, Drake and Lil Wayne, I'm just not listening to them as much now as I was 8 years ago. So it's tough. If you did this list then, they're probably number one. Like, I'm with you on that. But now I'm more in like the Danny and JPEG lane, and that's why they're over them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't agree with it over Drake and Wayne, but it's
I respect
okay.
it. I
It's
respect
your
that
list.
opinion. I know. And I question it myself too. They're very close, and it's like they're the most like different duos. So it's just so tough to compare, really. But
Mhm.
and it's definitely recency bias. So maybe we should update this in a year and we'll see. But shout out to Scaring the Hose, one of the best albums of the year so far, the best album of the year so far, in my opinion. We'll get into that in December probably.
Yeah, we got a few months, so
Yeah, we do, but I'm so confident it'll be up there. So let's get into the news for the week. Start off with the releases. We got projects from Tyler Creator, DJ Drama, La Tyler, Larry June the Alchemist, Toby Lou, Z Loopers, ASAP Ant, and Logic and C. Castro.
it
Pretty
was a
good
better
week.
week. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, I you texted me about doing just a solely focused Tyler the Creator estate sale project, but I listened to it, listen to it again. Still not into it, unfortunately. So I just can't dedicate a whole episode to someone I'm just not too into. I
I
try
know.
though. I
I
try every
know.
time.
I know. I respect it. That's crazy because I probably have some out of pocket takes about Tyler right now. Like that's how high on this project on Tyler as an artist I am right now. They just dropped a Tyler Creator Rap Caviar documentary on Hulu. So far, if you like Tyler, if you don't like Tyler, I would suggest watching it because it is such a good look at his whole career, the arc of his come up into becoming a true artist and innovator, everything he is now. But I'll stick on the estate sale. This is such a good deluxe project. I see people saying it's the best deluxe of all time, which I truly don't know. Like, it's very good, but is it the best deluxe of all time? I don't know. Sorry Not Sorry is, I think, easily the best song I've heard this year. The video makes it, though, I will say, like, seeing all the different Tylers dressed up,
Yeah.
such a fire video. And then the identity list Tyler killing Tyler Bottler, fire. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen the
Yeah.
video, but it's not really like that deep of a spoiler. Such a good video, such a good track. I feel like it's safely in my top 10 Tyler tracks of all time. Like instantly it's up there. As a whole, though, the deluxe is very good. We finally got the Vince Staples and Tyler collab on Stuntman. That's fire. I kind of see why it didn't make Call Me If You Get Lost. I feel like it has a little bit different vibe. It's kind of similar to like what you get on Juggernaut or Lemonhead, but a little bit different. We finally get another ASAP Rocky and Tyler collab on Wharf Talk, one of the best tracks on the project. Dogtooth, the first single, fire. Tyler's Munch Anthem. And then two of the best produced tracks of the year so far on What a Day, produced by Madlib, and then Heaven to Me, produced by Kanye. So fire. Tyler is just in his rapping bag. He's been in his rapping bag for a minute. I feel like he obviously switched it up a lot with the melodies and stuff with Igor, but he's back on the raps on Come If You Get Lost. And he's keeping his foot on the gas with these Lucy's. So love to see it. One of the most fire lines. I forget what track it is, but it's a line that I didn't like realize the first time I listened, and on second listen, I was like, oh, what? And when he something he said, hitting Willies like Chris retaliated. And that was a bar.
Yeah. It's a good bar.
It's just a standout for me. Let's get into the singles this week. We got G-Eazy, Lil Peep, Rod Wave, Quavo, and Yeet, 5 Foreign, Daniel Caesar, Nardo Wick and Lil Baby, Polo G, Southside, Black Thought, Chavo and Pierre Bourne, Gucci Mane and DaBaby, and 21 Savage. Pretty good week for the singles as well.
Yeah, I very solid week. I feel like for singles, this is one of the better ones you could have for sure. So
a lot of big names there for sure. I like the Daniel Caesar one a lot. Very excited for that project. I think that's this week. I've been saying about every single he's been dropping. I feel like I listen to Daniel Caesar a pretty good amount, but I'm very excited for this one. Like this is the most excited for a project I've been at his.
No, I like the single as well. And then of course I gotta bring it up and make the point every time. You know, shout out to Lil Peep's family and whoever he has running it. You know, just bringing more tracks from SoundCloud over and not releasing a bunch of unreleased, half put together songs. But yeah, I mean, just another W there.
Oh yeah, great track. Love to have that stuff on streaming services. Back to the albums really quick. This is the last note I have. I got to give a special shout out to that Larry June and the Alchemist project. Haven't heard all of it yet, but what I've heard so far, Larry June, underrated. If you haven't given him a listen, please do yourself a favor and do that. Let's get into some of the other news this week. We got 2 sort of teased collab albums this week. First, Mac Miller and Madlib. Madlib was talking to Sway and he was talking about finishing up that Mac album. That is going to be fire if that releases. It seems like it will. You never know how things work posthumously, but high hopes for that.
Yeah, it's I'm interested to see what the feel is and kind of where they go with it. But obviously, you know, with it being finished up by, you know, just such a great producer, I feel like they can't really miss with this. I mean, it's new Mac Miller.
I agree. That's like how they talk about like Mad Villainy 2. If that would come out, like you trust Madlib to know his collaborator enough to know what he would want and how to finish it up. So hopefully that comes one day too. I would love that. The other collab album we got teased is JID and Metro Boomin. This was very unexpected, but they were talking about it on Twitter, and I'm all for it. I think JID, he's obviously growing in popularity, but I feel like that Metro Boomin collab would just give him some like mainstream hits.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had enough of those of his own. So I am very hopeful for this one. I think it could be a real game changer for JID's career.
Definitely. It just, I mean, having your name to attach is such a big producer like Metro Boomin. It's good. It could do wonders, should do wonders. So
for sure. It's been another light week for news. So let's get into the last news. Lollapalooza lineup by day has released. Kendrick Lamar, I got the shirt on, you know, got my tickets. I'll be there on Friday. Gotta see our generation's GOAT at the least. I have not seen him yet. I have to. So I'm there on Friday.
Damn, Kanye's returning to Chicago.
Yeah, different generations, but they're close. It's similar but different. Kanye's more like it.
He's had his 2 generations though.
That's true. He has. It's just different. Like I feel like Kanye's got that like 2005 to 2015, and then Kendrick's got like the 2015 to now.
Yeah,
so that's my generation. It's like it's not 2000s, 2010s. It's a little bit of middle of the decades. But yeah, excited for that. He's gonna be on Friday with Thames, Biba Doobie, Kafune, who I've been liking a lot, indie group, Ken Carson, Ecstasy, and then DJ Diesel. Shaq's gonna be there, so might have to tap into Shaq. I've never seen him. He's been at Lolla before, but I haven't seen his set. I'm sure he just like plays music and just gets hyped. But
yeah,
I'll be excited to see him. Saturday, you got JID, Pusha T, Destroy Lonely, and Gene Dawson. Very solid day. If Kendrick wasn't there, I would probably be on Saturday. And then Sunday with a sleeper day, you got Red Hot Chili Peppers and Joey Badass, which is kind of a good combo.
Yeah.
They're 2 separate things, but enjoy both of them a lot. But yeah, light week for the news. I think that's really going to do it. I'll say this on the podcast, on the record, not going to be next week, but I've been thinking Ox Battle. I think we got.
Oh my God! I was literally just gonna finish that. I wasn't gonna say anything because every time I just surprise you with it, I was gonna say Ox Battles next week, but we can delay it another week after that. So I'm glad we're in the same mind frame there. So
we got to do it soon. I don't know what week it's gonna be, but it's coming up. So give us some categories. Hit the DMs on Instagram at Second Avenue Pod, and we'll be back with that one pretty soon. But that's gonna do it for this week, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you next week.